Hey everyone, Tyson the Subaru Specialist from Subaru Prince George here, and today we are taking a look at the 2025 Subaru Forester Convenience in the elusive autumn green metallic. And when I say elusive, it's that we don't get many of these, and when they do come in, they don't last. I think this is only the third one that we've had, and the first two were pre-sold. So Convenience is the entry-level Forester, and despite being entry-level, it's still very, very well equipped. So base model doesn't mean basic anymore. I've said it before, I will continue to say it. These have a ton of features in them, way more than people expect from a base model. Now this did get a redesign for the 25 model year, so you've got an updated exterior, updated interior, updated drivetrain. Is definitely a little bit boxier at the front, and we have a large hexagonal grille that leads into our smaller, more aggressively styled LED steering responsive headlights. And I'll show you what those headlights look like later. We've got daytime running lights, but it's definitely got an imposing front end on it. Now this is our mid-size crossover slash SUV. It's got that boxy SUV styling that lots of people associate with SUVs. 17-inch alloy wheels. You've got mud and snow rated all seasons on them. We've got the cladding around the fender, pretty standard for Subaru nowadays, functional vents. And that cladding does continue down along the bottom of the Forester. And you'll notice there's a lot of hexagonal design language in this, like even in that texture. And we've got an elongated hexagon there. Non-painted black plastic mirror caps. These stick out from the vehicle. They're more likely to get beaten up. Non-painted, easier to take care of. Up top, roof rails with integrated tie downs, front and rear. So if you get crossbars, you have something on the roof, you can use these as a tie down point if you're securing something to the roof rails. Very, very easy to use. Give you guys that side profile. Still have 8.7 inches of minimum ground clearance, which is more than your average half-ton pickup. These are pretty much go anywhere. You can take, it's perfect for our winters, deal with all the snow, give you that rear 3/4 view. Very, very boxy, which is par for the course for the Forester. Some people are gonna like it, some people aren't. We've got fuel door, rear passenger side. When the driver door is locked, this is locked. And when it's unlocked, of course. They've moved most of the badging off the back to the side, so symmetrical all-wheel drive badge. We've got new rear tail lights. Subaru, we've got half a hexagon there, and it wraps and goes all the way across. Black metallic painted strip into the logo, and it wraps around, and we have the other half of a hexagon, and of course, Subaru. We've got Forester debossed into the rear hatch. They've elevated the look in the Forester, and I think it looks sharp. You see that on a lot of vehicles now, the Tacomas, the F-150s, looks good. The only physical badge is Subaru in black. We've got more hexagonal design language, even in there, texture, hexagonal, the exhaust finisher, hexagonal. Now, to open it, between these two stars, there's a little rubber switch underneath here, and it would help if I had it actually unlocked. This being the Convenience entry level, it's the only one where you get an actual hatch or physical key. So we can just unlock the hatch, but we're gonna be showing you the rest of the car at the same time. So I'm just gonna make sure all the doors are unlatched. So right there, little rubber switch, you just push up and it unlocks. Camera, and with that big boxy square rear end, you end up with a ridiculously large amount of storage room. Tall, wide, and deep. Moving appliances is not a problem when you fold the seats down. You've got lots of room for sports equipment, luggage, the like. We have grocery bag hooks on either side. So the idea is you hook the loop of your grocery bag around it and it stops them from tumbling across when you take a corner. We have 12-volt power point for charging, so portable cooler, anything like that. We've got nice hard mount physical tie downs in all four corners, which makes securing awkward cargo very, very easy. And underneath this false floor, we've got a bunch of storage. That's a battery raiser if you ever replace the battery with a shorter one, so the cables can reach. Underneath here, we've got our spare tire and tools, including our eye bolt for recovery, but all easily accessible, and it's inside the vehicle, so it doesn't rust to the bottom of your vehicle, which is nice. Doesn't make a bad situation even worse. So you can see this red piece is up here. That just means it's not locked in place, and simply lift and push, and you can dramatically increase the amount of storage you have in there. Quite long. Like I said, moving appliances and the like, not an issue in a Forester. Tons of storage. Now, close this. It's simple, easy close. Not a lot of force required to do that. in the second row. Well, actually, before we get there, this third window, if you've ever driven a previous gen Forester, this was large. This is even bigger. So visibility, shoulder checking, phenomenal. That's a big improvement over the previous gen. Not that the last one was bad, it's just improved. So if you can't see the red, it's locked in place. These are super light, very easy to do, one-handed. And we've got the dark, well, I'd say it's a light gray cloth upholstered interior in the convenience. We've got the blue contrast stitching, and we've got, again, hexagonal patterns throughout. You can tell Subaru really loves that shape for this design. We've got really easy access to the latch system, the lower anchors and tethers for children. And I initially was concerned that this was going to dig into your rear end when you're sitting down. Luckily, after many, many test drives, that's not the case. Off the center console, a little bit of storage. We have 2 USB ports for charging, keep everyone connected. And even in the entry level, we've got 3 matte back pockets on the backs of both front seats, which is nice. Storage is not an issue. We've got a textured step here, Subaru stars. And the reason that we have this, and they want you standing on this, if you're loading something on the roof, is this is essentially centered in the vehicle. And here, the tire sits inside the fender. You're gonna get more of your foot on that than on the tire. And if I'm on the tire, I'm pretty much centered right here, right at the back. And I'll probably end up leaning, potentially putting myself in a precarious situation. And they don't want that. The other black piece of plastic there, I get asked about that little slot all the time, and that is what this extra side impact crash safety bar locks into, and that is designed to help stop intrusion into the passenger cab in the event of a collision, which I hope none of you ever experience. The rear door card, even in the entry level, soft touch. Semi-soft touch armrest. Even where you have your thumb when you grab the handle to close, soft touch. We've got a bottle holder and a decent amount of storage down there. Got more Easter eggs in there. And exceptionally easy access to the child lock. Now, important to note, if you lock this side, that side is unlocked unless you go over and lock that. Just something to know. And then these doors, when you close them, nice solid thud, not tinny like some of the competition in the same category are. And I don't know if the mic picked that up, so I'm gonna do that again. Nice solid thud. Front door card looks pretty much the same as the rear in terms of colorway and soft touch materials. Front driver windows auto. Regular power window for the front passenger and rear passengers, and you have window lock if you want to stop someone else from playing with their window. Power mirror adjustment, and we have a little bit more storage with a slightly larger bottle holder. Front driver seat, same seating material, that gray cloth upholstery with the blue contrast stitching and the hexagonal pattern. Now, it is a fully manual seat, but it is still height adjustable on a pump system. Now, I don't know if the camera's actually picking that up because the camera's probably shaking as I do that, but you can have this pretty darn high. Someone who is on the shorter side can get it almost where the headrest is touching the roof. Like it's quite tall. You can go from the very floor to the very top. It's awesome. And then just a manual bar at the front to move forward and aft. And this right here is to adjust the seat back. Now these seats are specifically designed for long distance travel. So you'll notice these bolsters are quite aggressive. It's very, very firm here, holds you. You get a lot less vibration and harshness through these seats than previous, and that results in less fatigue. And when you're less fatigued, you're less likely to be involved in an accident. So Subaru's all about safety, and it does make a difference. Same seats as in the new Crosstrek. So if you have one of those or have driven one of those, you have an idea what the seats are like. Got a scroll wheel for the brightness of the gauges. Oh, sorry about that. Scroll wheel for the brightness of the gauges. Bottom left of the steering column, you pull down, and even on the entry level, tilt and telescopic steering wheel. So you can adjust it to drivers of varying height, leg, and arm lengths, depending on your seating position, and you just pull back up on that and locks it in place. And on the steering wheel, it's not leather wrap, but it's not hard plastic. It's kind of a semi-soft plastic steering wheel. We've got gloss black accents on it. And on the left-hand side here, we have our Bluetooth and audio control, so it can accept calls, hang up or decline calls, issue voice commands, or access Google Assistant or Siri. Very, very handy, easy to use. We've got our volume toggle. Used to be this up and down, but now it's left to right. Source switches from AM to FM to USB to Bluetooth, etc. We can switch between presets. This now changes our small little upper display, and it'll give us different pieces of info depending what we want to look at. What's important to us, or you. The right-hand side, we have our adaptive cruise. and our lane centering. Now, both of these use these 3 black boxes, those color stereo EyeSight cameras, including this new 3rd wide angle mono camera that increases the field of view from left to right for this safety system. They're looking for pedestrians, road lines, cyclists, and other vehicles. These do your automatic emergency braking, which saves you 10% on your basic insurance. Absolutely fantastic feature to have. Hopefully none of you ever need it to kick on. Now, actually, speaking of visibility, I'll give you my shoulder check. Like, there's virtually no blind spots in this. And of course, the camera's not going to show you exactly what I see, but the visibility in this is fantastic. Now, when you have adaptive cruise turned on, so I've turned it off, turned it on, you get the bars in front of the Forester there, and the 4 bars indicate the follow distance behind the vehicle ahead of you that you'll follow at if you catch up while using cruise. So when I pull down to set the speed for cruise, those 3 lines will turn into whatever speed I set it to. That digital speedometer that says 0 will tell you what speed you're actually going. And 4 bars at 100 kilometers an hour will follow it roughly 150 to 180 feet behind the vehicle ahead of you if you catch up. And it'll show a little vehicle up there, and essentially it's saying, yes, the camera sees it, the EyeSight system sees it. Now, if we want to follow closer, each time we press down, it decreases the bars. So you can follow closer if you want. But in the north here, 4 bars is plenty. We do have our lane centering, so when I turn that on, you get an image of the steering wheel and hands on the top right there. Now, above 60 kilometers an hour, if the road lines can be seen by the cameras, whether that's left side or right side or both, those gray lines on either side of the Forester will illuminate white. And when that happens, especially when you use cruise, it'll actually give you gentle steering input to keep you centered in your lane. If you put your turn signal on, it deactivates it. If you have to cross it, you can cross it. It's not going to rip the wheel out of your hand and send you back into the lane on a crash course into what you're trying to avoid. Very, very handy to use. I didn't think I would like these 2 pieces of technology. I absolutely love them. They make long distance driving far more bearable. You're less fatigued at the end of the day. We have intelligent and sport drive modes. So intelligent's what it defaults to. That's for everyday driving. Sport, you're going to notice yellow line, torque curve gets a little bit more aggressive. You're going to go faster sooner, sit at a higher RPMs. It's for more spirited driving. We have 2 7-inch infotainment touchscreen displays here in the entry level. It's a little shinier than usual because we still have the plastic from shipping on here. I'm not going to peel that off. New owner can do that. We've got our 4-ways, which I hope none of you ever need to use. We've got apps. We've got wired Android Auto, wired Apple CarPlay. This home button, physical button, always takes you here. There's lots of things you can change under settings, general sound, phone, radio settings. Phone allows you to hook your phone up to Bluetooth. Radio is obviously AM, FM, and Sirius XM. Media is anything that's not in the car, so Bluetooth audio, USB auxiliary, and you can actually turn the display off if you don't like it. You find it too bright or not. Physical volume and tuning knobs, which are nice. And then, yeah, radio always takes you to radio. And each time you press radio, it changes from FM, AM, SXM. Just make sure the volume's turned all the way down there. Phone, apps, you've got shortcuts where you can always go back to the screen. Now, when I put it in reverse, backup camera pops up, shows you the top of the bumper there so you have something to relate to, which is really nice. And you've got a backup camera washer, and you can activate that by twisting and holding the end of the wiper stalk towards yourself. Best thing ever for our sloppy winters, or when it's super dusty and dirty out, like right now. Now, bottom display, we've got access to things like X mode, which is like 4 low in a pickup. X mode, little rough terrain icon, downhill descent control icon. Only works up to 40 kilometers an hour. After that, it kicks out and goes back to regular all-wheel drive, which is the best all-wheel drive system in the world. Do some research on that if you have any questions about that. Vehicle control, you can turn off traction control. You can turn off the steering responsive headlights. You've got lots of options here to kind of make it yours. Driving assistance, lane departure. You can make it just beep at you. You can make it so it doesn't correct you in your lane. All things that you get to choose to customize to make it yours. Easy to disable auto start stop. And when you turn off something in the Subaru, you'll get it in orange on the dash. So right now the auto start stop is off, and that's in orange. Pretty much anything in orange means something is deactivated or caution. It's something to pay attention to. Under more settings, you can change the warning volumes for the alerts. You can change it to miles per hour, miles per gallon if you're traveling in the States, and another place to turn off the auto start stop. Totally up to you. We've got our heated mirrors and back window. We've got front defrost. And we have our climate controls down here, and we have physical buttons on either side because it is dual zone. And you can have 2 different temperatures. Ranges essentially from 15 to 29.5, freezing and tropical. And if we want to sync it back together, I just press on the temperature and sync it. Now it's all controlled from the driver. Fan strength buttons are hard to miss. Turn on AC, max AC. We've got 3 stages of heated seat for both the driver and the passenger. And lots of people don't know this. If you want to go from high to off, simply press, hold, release. It goes right to off. And you can turn off climate altogether if you don't want it. Below that, we've got a USB, and we have an auxiliary. And then this is a rubberized device storage area. Semi-soft touch stuff on the sides. So if you're resting your knee against it, hopefully going to hurt less at the end of the day. Automatic CVT with low gearing. Great for going down super steep hills, obviously lower speeds. We have our electronic parking brake. So you pull up to activate it. If your foot's not on the brake and you push down, it doesn't go off. And it actually says to press the brake. So if I put my foot on the brake and push down, shuts off. Easily accessible offset cup holders. We've got a 12-volt power point for any charging needs. A little bit of storage in there. The bottom of that is rubberized. So it is kind of awkward to grab things out of, but I'm sure someone has a use for something there. We've got a semi-soft touch armrest with actually quite a bit of storage in there. No power points in there, but there's a place to run cords out of, cables out of. So I think that's actually something that Subaru missed out on, was putting a 12-volt in there. I think that would have been beneficial and handy, especially with that. And then up top here, we've got our LED map lights. We've got our sunglass storage. We have card holders on both of the sun visors. We've got our vanity mirror. And if we pull it, we've got sunshade extenders, which are great if the sun's directly at your left or right. Now, I'll show you under the hood. I just turned the headlights on because I'm going to show you guys the headlights. Down here, little image. You do have to reach back a little further than you think you would. You just pull down. Pops the hood. And this is for any Subaru. To open it, facing the logo, hand into the right of the logo, facing down, move from right to left. And there's a little lever right here. And that's how you unlatch it. So this is the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder boxer engine in the Forester, 180 horsepower. Pretty much everything under the hood in yellow is what the average consumer is going to touch during ownership. So you've got easily identifiable things such as your dipstick, your coolant overflow reservoir, your oil filler cap, right next to your top mount oil filter, by the way. Easy access to your washer fluid, easy access to your battery, and that's brake fluid. And it's not marked in yellow, but you have really easy access to the air filter, the engine air filter. And then to close it, I just like to drop it. I don't like to put it down and push on it. It feels like I'm going to break it or dent it when I do that, even though I know that's not the case. So that is a quick look at the 2025 Subaru Forester Convenience in the autumn green metallic. Give you guys that final 360 walk around. You can see those LED headlights. Not doing them justice during the daytime, but at night they're ridiculously bright. One of the most popular models in our lineup. Good amount of room, good amount of storage, amazing winter prowess, and that traditional SUV styling that lots of people want. Thank you for sticking with me and watching my walkthrough of the 25 Forester Convenience in the autumn green metallic. I'm Tyson, the Subaru specialist from Subaru Prince George. If you guys have any questions about this car behind me, anything in the lineup, any of the tech, or something you saw in the video you want me to elaborate further on, please put it in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys. And if you're in British Columbia or willing to make the trip to northern British Columbia to pick up a Subaru, please reach out to me directly. I would love to help you find your perfect car. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll talk soon.